And welcome back to another Facebook Friday. Once again, I'm Dr. Alan Van Scoyk and I'm joined by Dr. Botros here at the Chiropractic Company in Glendale. Today on our Facebook Friday, we're going to do something once again just a little different. Instead of going through statistics and going over different topics, today we're just going to do some simple storytelling. We get asked all the time different questions about, what got you into chiropractic, or who was, one of your favorite patients, or tell me about some of the experiences that you've had as a chiropractor. So today we're going to go through a couple different stories about some of the things that we've seen and done on a first-hand basis with our patients to kind of give you guys maybe a different view on what really happens with chiropractic care and what goes on here in the chiropractic office. So for me today, I wanted to start off with one of my patients who I've seen for years and years and years, and unfortunately he's got a lot of back issues, and he said, "Doc, my back is really giving me trouble today. I'm having a lot of pain." And he's like, "You've helped me in the past, so can you help me out again?" I said, "Absolutely, let's check it out and see what's going on." He said, "Also, in addition to my back, my knee today is also giving me a lot of trouble. Now, I didn't fall on it, I didn't do anything, but it's really painful. And unfortunately, today is a big day for me." And I said, "Well, what's going on today?" And he said, "Well, today is my bowling league, and I'm one of the better bowlers for our team, and we're really depending on me to come through tonight. So I got to get my back, I got to get my knee under control. So if there's something that you can do, man, please help me out." So I said, "All right, let's see what we can do." So I took care of him, and I found some issues, and I checked out his knee, and I did a little work to his knee to try to get it to line up better because it was really twisted and really rotated. And many of you have gone through that untwisting and rotating adjustment. No, it's not the most pleasant thing, but it's incredibly effective. And so, he got off the table and said, "Man, my knee feels a little bit better," and walked down the hall. He's like, "Yeah, I can move a lot better." And I said, "Well, good luck out there." And so later on that night, my phone rang. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what's going on." So I picked it up, and it was him. And he said, "Hey, I just got done going to league." And I said, "Were you able to make it? Were you able to bowl?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I was able to make it. I got to the lane, and my knee started to feel a little bit better and kind of loosened up. And so I threw a couple, and I decided to give it a go." And he said, "I wanted to give you a call because I actually ended up throwing a 300 game." And I thought, man, that's awesome. He's like, there'd be no way I'd be able to do that unless I'd gotten adjusted. And so he called me and thanked me greatly. And his team was there and he thanked me. And so I wanted to share that fun little story about something that, once again, most people don't necessarily think about knees in chiropractic care, but we're really effective in helping out. So Dr. Botros, give me a story about something that has gone on for you.
So one of my favorite stories was a middle-aged woman who is very, very adventurous. So every year she'll go somewhere exotic around the world and do all the exploring and nature and hiking. And it's really absolutely inspiring. Until about a year and a half ago, before she came in. She was in Switzerland hiking in the mountains. It was a little bit cold. There was some ice. She slipped and hit the back of her head. And unfortunately, not only did that ruin her ability to have fun for the rest of the trip, but it actually ruined her ability to essentially travel, work she really loves, because she was getting headaches every single day after that. She went to the medical doctor. They checked for concussions, any bleeding in the head. Everything came clear from that regard. So she was prescribed medications to help alleviate the pain and discomfort from her headaches. So she came to me kind of as a last resort, almost like, "Hey, what?" And I actually kind of like that sometimes because it's like okay, challenge accepted. Let's see what happens here. So we went ahead, took some x-rays of her neck, and typically we should have a curvature in the neck. Now hers, she didn't lose that curvature. It actually was a reverse curve, okay? And there's a lot of research about how that can affect headaches, migraines, even concussions. So I went ahead and said, "Hey, here's what we need to do. Here's the plan of attack." And we went ahead, and she did an awesome job being on top of her care, being very consistent. Now she was one of those people who, towards the end of her care, she was getting headaches about once every month, if that. And she was completely, again, under the supervision of her medical doctors, off her medications. She was very happy to the point of tears. And it actually, it's one of those things where when someone leaves you a positive review, usually it's 1 or 2 sentences. Hers was a full page,
Oh,
like a
that's
full
awesome.
Word document. Oh, thank you for doing this. Now I can do that. So it's extremely, very, very beautiful to see that. And, I wish her the best. So if you're watching,
I love stories. And I can listen to stories all day long. One of my other favorite ones is many of you know that I had an opportunity to go practice in Hungary. And when I was over in Hungary, a lot of the healthcare system there is a little bit different than what we have here in the United States. And so chiropractic isn't necessarily widely known as far as treatment. And so while I was there, I got to see all sorts of different conditions that came in. People that had no access to healthcare to people who had lots of access to healthcare. And a lady came in and she was in her 30s, and she said, Doc, my back gives me trouble almost every day. I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm wondering if it's because I have congenital hip dysplasia, and I have it in both of my legs, and I've had it, for my entire life, and my hips hurt me literally every day of my entire life. But now my back is really starting to give me some problems, and I'm wondering if there's something that you can do to help me out. And I said, sure, let's take a look. And I went through and I did an exam, and I found some different things that were going on with her spine. But then I also found some things that were a little bit different than some of the hip dysplasia that she was talking about. And so I said, hey, let's see what we can do as far as helping her back out. But I'd really like to take a look and see if I can help out some of these hips as well. Now, I might not necessarily make them feel better right away, but over time it's going to, prolong your usage of them, and in case you need to have any kind of replacements. And so she agreed, and she said, whatever you can do. Like I said, I've been in pain literally every day of my life. So as long as you don't make it too worse, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. And I said, well, we'll see what we can do. So she came back in after getting adjusted the next day. And I'm in my office getting ready to take care of patients, and I can see that she's just starting to cry in the waiting room, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she really is in a lot more pain. So I got done taking care of patients, and I went over and I grabbed her, and I was like, are you okay? And she's starting to sob and cry, and I'm like, hey, tell me, how did things go after the last adjustment? And she said, Doc, through her tears, she's like, Doc, today I got up, and today is the first day that I haven't had any pain waking up in my entire life. It was absolutely incredible. So she's sitting there crying. I'm starting to cry. Like I'm welling up right now just thinking about the story. It was absolutely amazing. She was so grateful and thankful that she once again had literally one day of her life just not having pain. Absolutely amazing. And we worked together, and once again it was kind of up and down for a little bit, but she just once again for that one day felt whole again, and it was amazing. So that was another one of my favorite stories.
I love that. That's absolutely incredible. Now, one of the other stories I also want to share here, it's a little bit of a different one. So this was a patient who was actually younger than me, so late 20s, okay? And he came in with his wife and his kids, and to get examined, and he said, I have just back pain, especially my low back pain. It really hurts. There isn't any accidents or anything like that, no trauma, and I just hope you can just crack me and pop me and put me back in place. I'm like, have you ever been adjusted before? He's like, nope, but it seems like it would feel awesome. So I'm like, okay, let's really take our time studying this. We don't want to just jump the gun and get in there without knowing what's going on. Now, when I did the exam, there was definitely some things that really stood out to me that were pretty fishy, okay? So long story short, we're like, hey man, let's go ahead, take some x-rays, see what's going on underneath the hood, and see, what exactly we need to adjust and what the next course of plan is here. So I went ahead and took x-rays, and he didn't even get a chance to walk out the door. As soon as I saw those x-rays, it was one of those situations where he has a condition known commonly as glass bones, okay? And medically, it's osteogenesis imperfecta, and the bones are very, very brittle. And this guy in his 30s, on his x-rays, has already many broken bones on there, and you just, I just want to get adjusted. And this is a person that if you put any kind of pressure, could have actually made things worse, and he was already showing neurological symptoms. So it was one of those situations where we actually had to refer him out and co-manage that way. And the good news is he's doing well, but it just goes to show you that all that schooling, all that training, all that dry academic stuff really does come in handy. And here, what we do is we are always, sharpening our blade to make sure that if we can help you, let's figure out what's the cause here. And if it's something that we cannot help you out with, we will send you to a specialist or someone who can. And a lot of times it's situations where, we can co-manage, and actually that produces the best outcomes. So Yeah, so that's it.
I love stories like that as well. Once again, sometimes it's the adjustment that we don't give that's the most powerful. So I wanted to share one more story with you, and that's actually about what's been a story that's been going on here recently for us. And this is something that was interesting to me. And this started actually right around in March. And right about in March is when we started to have some of the issues as far as the stay-at-homes, as far as the quarantines, as far as locking downs are concerned. And as you all know, the chiropractic company remained open. Chiropractors are essential, and so we stayed open for the entire duration of what's been going on here for the past couple months. And as we continue to stay open, and this has continued to go on from that day, literally every single day here in our office, I get a thank you from one of my patients. And it's not solicited, it's totally genuine that they say, you know, Doc, I wanted to thank you for staying open. I wanted to thank you for helping us, and I wanted to thank you for making sure that we're able to do what we need to do. And this really touched me, and it's something that, you know, as doctors, we love giving to people, and we love helping out people, and that's just inherent in our nature. And we don't really expect thank yous, because our thank you is people to live better, healthier lives and more productive lives. But during that time frame, when people actually started to say thank you for staying open, thank you for taking care of us, once again, that touched me tremendously. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you who've been grateful throughout this process, and who've continued on to use us as far as getting care. And we thank you in playing the small role in your lives to allow you to be able to do all those things that you want to do. So with that being said, we're going to end off with our Facebook Friday there. We'll get back together next week, and if there's other stories that you want to hear from us on different topics, let us know. If you have questions about anything and want to contact us, you can contact us through our website, chiropracticcompany.com or chiropracticco.com, either one, or you can call us at our office, 414-332-0859. So until our next time, stay safe, stay healthy, take care.